12 minutes is the pre-show. 12 minutes. And then the show will start. 7 p.m. Blah, 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 blah. Ready for this? Got some Sony news. Got some Xbox news. Got some news. But we ain't gonna talk about that though. Just the happy stuff. Yeah. Okay, we gonna go fast forward on this one because I don't like this song. I don't like this one either. I don't like that one either. This one's alright. I'ma turn off my AC. I'ma narrate everything I do. That's better. Are y'all ready? minutes, y'all. 6 minutes. Oh, let me share this on Facebook, yo. Let me share on Facebook. Like, hey, everybody. Write a song for this. Maybe I should write some lyrics. Maybe I should get off my lazy ass and fear it. Just do it. Feel it. Explain when I strain and I sprain in my brain. Like today I was like, yo, I need some pills. I need some herb. I need some extra herb. Give me 500 millig's and I'll be alright. Maybe I will see the light at the end of the tunnel. I will funnel all my might in my muscles and everybody will say, alright. Maybe I'll just recycle some lyrics and then I'll be like, screw it, and I'll square it and square it? Is that a word? I'm not sure, but my verbs and my zerbs and my glurbs and my glurbs? What's a glurb? 5 minutes, y'all. 5 minutes and the show starts. For some reason, I don't like this song either anymore. I have a lot of other songs that are gooder. You know what I mean. I forgot to put down my green screen. Hold on. I gotta fix it. I actually don't think it's better. I don't know if it's better because I didn't test it, so it's probably gonna be some artifacting. But that's okay. Let me see if I can blow. Excuse me, I gotta chill my throat. Maybe I'll drink me some Earl Grey tea. Maybe I'll be that legendary SG. Maybe I'll be the guy who will fly into atmosphere out to space. And maybe I'll look in the mirror at my face and say, damn, you ugly kid, why that disgrace? And maybe I'll just displace all my soldier and my shoulder. That's what I meant to say. Maybe I'll do it every day. Maybe I'll parlay like the pirates did back in the day. Maybe I'll just be lazy. Like today, I was watching a lot of YouTube, and I actually watched the Phineas and Ferb movie. Why? Don't ask me why. Sometimes you just have to watch a cartoon movie. You know what I mean? That's why. Sometimes you just gotta be like, F it. Let me watch this dumbass movie right now. Nah, I mean, yo, I'm gonna rip. I wanna just sip. A little bit of wine, that's fine when I flip. Every order flip flapjacks when I rip. I said that already, so I'm just gonna skip to the next line, next verse. Next time I be thirsty every time that occurs, and I find that I'm worse every time when I lurk in the shadows, battle to Burke. 1 minute. 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 Well, we'll see in about half a minute if my green screen is adequate, and I'm adamant about the battleship. It's one of those days, you know. La 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 la. Okay, enough. Oh, whatever. I would like to introduce myself. My name is I can't see myself. My name is hold up. My name is oh, my camera's not on. Duh. My name is I can't see myself. There we go. Hi. What up, y'all? It's the R9cast, the official blog district Congo and Christian Loop Door Show of Res19.com, representing allgames.com, I guess. And also electronbandit.com. I'm your host, Stephen D. Gibson, aka SG, aka Electron Bandit. Hence the URL. Although I don't have an actual website per se, you can go to electronbandit.com. You see it up at the top there. And it'll shoot you to other places like my YouTube is and my Instablams and other videos, music videos I have created for artists. I think I only have one up there. The latest one I did. Other things. Eventually I'll have my music up, which is what you're hearing now. Some of it. One day. Yeah, one day. Yeah, see the green screen's messed up. That's okay. Who cares? Do I? Nah. It's all good. I mean, I could fix it in a way. In a way. Doesn't matter. I ate some trail mix not too long ago, and it's kind of like it's dancing, right? So if I don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. Sorry, let me turn this off. That's better. Don't be scared. Don't be scared. I'm just joking. Don't be scared of the projectile regurgitation. That's all I'm saying. Not saying that I will, or that I had any inclination to do that. You just never know. Sometimes you're like, sometimes you don't feel good. Sometimes you rhyme slow. Sometimes you rhyme quick. That's all I gotta say. If you don't get that, then you're too old. I mean, I'm too old, and you're too young. Millennial. Wait. What's past millennial? We're into 2020s, right? So does that dawn a new letter? Is it alpha or something? Because Gen Z, I was Gen X. Gen Y was after me. That was the 90s. 2010 was Gen Z. 2020, what's that gen? I think they do it every 10 years. I don't know. Doesn't matter. It's so messed up that like some millennials would call me a boomer when I'm not a boomer. Actually, I'm the generation after boomers, which is Gen X. But whatever. Who cares? Only person who cares about that stuff is people who feel like they're getting old. And I don't actually care. And you know who say they don't care about getting old? People who care about getting old. It ain't about getting old. It's about feeling old. Now, if you feel old, don't matter what age you are. You know what I'm saying? You could be 25 and feel old. You could be 65 and feel young. It's all about the mind state? No. Mental health. Man, that doesn't sound right either. Because that denotes like something wrong or something, right? Whenever they say mental health, they say, oh, you have poor mental health? I don't know. Anyway, what am I talking? Not talking about that. We're going to talk about some stuff, right? We're going to talk about... And... Right? Okay. You didn't understand what I just said? We're going to talk about Sony. We're going to talk about Xbox. We're going to talk about Sony pertaining to Xbox. We're going to talk about the leak, which was good and bad at the same time. Okay, so a couple days ago, whatever it was, Brad Sams on from Thurrott.com, whatever, leaked the Series S pricing and all that stuff. And then Microsoft did the meme with the puppet dude, and I was like, okay, that's cool. And they handled it the best way that they could in that situation. So I'm like, okay, they did their duck this, so they're all right. And the news was good, right? $299 for the S, $499 for the X. So I'm like, all right, that's cool. My problem is this. My problem is that Sony's playing a game. They've played this game. They played this game last generation in 2013. They've been playing this game for a minute because they did it last gen in the fact that Microsoft went first. Here's the Kinect, $499 for the Xbox, blah, blah, blah. And Sony was like, psh. And they went the next day. And then they cut the price by $100, took out the camera. And now all of a sudden they're the good guys. And then they said, oh, you don't need to be online. Or, oh, this is how you share games. All of a sudden Sony's the good guys, right? They're trying to do the same thing now. But that's not going to work this time. Because the problem is that Xbox ain't the same fool. Fool me once, shame on. And you can't fool me again. Oh boy, remember when politics were just a simpler time, just kind of funny? Like that was the level of like, oh man, this is a bad president that we got. Him not even misquoting, just totally messing up a line from an old saying. Remember that? Remember when that was the least of our, that was like, oh my gosh, this president is horrible. He can't even remember the fool me once, fool me twice line. Oh my gosh. And you look at what we're going through now. It's like, please, can we have that Bush guy back? He wasn't so bad, was he? Anyway, we're not talking about that. We're talking about Sony. And Sony trying to play the games. Now, here's my problem with the leak. If the leak didn't happen, right? Sony had no idea, right? Not really, because remember, there was leaks before that the Xbox is gonna be $599 from like retailers and stuff. And I was like, and I said, that's Microsoft trying to be sly. That's what they're doing. You know, they're putting out these little leaks, and then Sony's like, oh, we could charge $599 for art. You know what I'm saying? And so if they would have known that, if they would have just like, there would have been no leak for the S and stuff, Sony would have gone into next week talking about, hey, $499 for the digital, $599 for the disc drive, right? But like, yeah, what's up? And then Microsoft was like, bam, $299, $499. Whole world would have flipped upside down. Everybody would be like, oh. You know? It'd have been 2006, 5 all over, 6 all over again. 5, 6, you know, all over again. But now, somebody had to leak it. And that is frustrating. Because of that aspect, right? But I thought about it and I said, well, you know what? That's fine, whatever. You know, now we look at the situation. What will probably happen is the all digital will be $399, and the disc drive version will be $499 for PlayStation 5, right? The problem is that's losing money on each system for Sony. You know what I'm saying? The $499 one, if that was the rumored, whatchamacallit, I forgot what the acronym is, but however much it costs to produce the disc drive version, $450, you know, plus, shipment, blah, 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 plus the cut for the retailers and all that stuff. That's well over, I would imagine that's, if it's not over $499, it's pretty close, because the PS4 costs $381 to produce, and they charged $399 and lost money on each console for whatever the first 2 quarters, whatever. So I would assume that if that is the one with the disc drive, but I have a feeling that the discless version of the PlayStation 5 was the $450 price, because you got to remember, the most expensive part in the PS5 is the SSD. Don't believe it's the APU. Don't believe that, because They just leaked the SSD. Well, it's probably not true, but the SSD for the external SSD, the ones you could buy for the Xbox Series X, Series S and X, for $219 or something like that, for the Seagate one. I was like, okay, that's high. I'm not gonna buy that. So I'm good for a minute. I'll just put a regular hard drive in it, swap files, and just keep the Series X version of games on that SSD, because that's how you gotta play them. But then everything else I can play off the other hard drive, whatever. Or I can get an external SSD and get some a little bit faster speed, so that's fine. It's really about the performance, not so much about the speed stuff. And there's ways to work around it. I mean, Sony's PlayStation 5 has a smaller drive, so it's like, oh, okay. How many games you're gonna put on there? You're gonna have probably maybe 600 gigs in the end. So going back to the whole Sony waiting for the price. So they waited, they got the price, so now they're readjusting. All these YouTubers out there talking about, oh, Sony's adjusting their prices now to compete with Xbox. And I'm like, okay, that's fine. But they were already going to lose money on these things, right? Now they have to lose. If they want to be competitive, right? They're going to have to lose more money. How much money per unit are they willing to use? And here's the other part. This whole strategy that Sony has implemented in this generation coming up is kind of backfiring. Because they're like, oh, we want to move everybody to the PlayStation 5 as fast as possible, right? And then they abandoned that real quick. Now, it's I would assume that's still kind of one of their, goals. So if they want to have everyone buy a PlayStation 5 in order to, get those numbers back up to whatever, 100 million or whatever, right? They better find out a way to start making money on each console as soon as possible. Of course, that's the goal for each company, but Microsoft can afford to buy into a console generation, meaning they can afford to lose money on each unit in order to get those console units up, which in turn gives them more customers into the ecosystem. Another problem that Sony has is they don't really have an ecosystem. They have a console. They have the PlayStation 4, right? Okay, yeah. And then you go get a PlayStation 5. What's going to happen to your PlayStation 4? It's going to collect dust. There's nothing tying them together. There is no universal service. I mean, they have PS Now. They have PS Plus. But that's not it. I mean, it is, but it's not. Not really. Game Pass is so superior. And now they just added EA Play. It's like, it's almost too good to be. It's like they saw all the bad stuff that they did last gen. They saw Donnie D just fumble the ball, give it to Sony. They just give it to Shuhei. Say, here you go, Shuhei, take it. Go ahead. Get a touchdown, and then punt it back to me, and I'll give it to you again so you can get another touchdown, just to make sure that we can't catch up this gen, because we really want you to win. They just gave them a generational, I don't know, Kwanzaa present. Let's say Kwanzaa, okay? And so I'm like, yo, this time is different. And this is what's so exciting. It's so exciting on the technical side, where it's like, oh, yo, the hardware is actually way better than it was before. Even though it's like, okay, RDNA 2, whatever, and then the Series 3000 cards, RTX cards come out, and it's like, whoa, this is way, way, way better. So that means when the inevitable upgrade consoles come out in the middle of this gen, they're gonna have that extra. Well, I mean, I know it's a different, it's Nvidia, but I'm saying AMD will probably have their 7,000 chips out by then, a couple of years. So now the 6,000 chips are coming out, which are what are in the Xbox and the PlayStation. Well, PlayStation, they're kind of, it's not really. And so I'm like, all right, this is gonna be good. This is good, And so I'm like, wait, should I buy? I was like, yo, I think I might buy a S, cause it's just like a little. I just throw it in my studio, and I can do just for a streamy box. You know what I mean? And I was actually thinking, which I won't do because I don't have enough time to do this. But the idea is to just be a Game Pass streamer, just be the Game Pass master, and you go in the Game Pass and you say, yo, I'm going alphabetically through a game in Game Pass. And if you do that once a week, then you got 2 years, at least 2 years of content. Once a week. One game a week. Once a week. Without skipping a week, you got 2 years of content. I mean, that's plus because you got EA Play as well. And they have, so that's like 3 years. It's like 4. It's closing in on 4 years almost. So I'm not going to do that because that takes up way too time. And I want to do music and stuff. So that's more, yeah. But going back to, let's pull it up. Where is it at? Where is it? I think it's. Oh yeah, it's a. I'll just play the. What is this one? I didn't see this one. Let's mute that. Oh, right here. There we go. And so yeah. Oh, that was him talking about it. So they dropped the bomb, $299 Series S, and I was like, oh, okay. People making fun of it, like, oh, look at it, it looks like a turntable, it looks like a washing machine, it looks like. I'm like, whatever. I don't care what it. I mean, remember I said people who say they don't care what it looks like care what it looks like. It's not offensive to me. Actually, what I would have done is on the circle, on the vent grill, I would have made an indent. You know how the X, I mean, it's an Xbox, right? So you can do the X symbol within that circle, but not with a different color, but like, use a form and do like an indentation, like the indentation on the Xbox Series X. How the top is kind of, it's like an X kind of sorta. It's concave. They could do the same thing on that, except just like the shape of the actual logo. That'd have been dope. Do that right on top. I'm like, hell yeah. That way it looks kind of generic. Like that looks like almost looks like a Japanese knockoff. Like, they're going to knock that off and it's going to look just like that because it's easy. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's probably why they did it too, to keep the cost down. But, just a little frame, a little mold, a little heat, go press it in there and it'll boom. I mean, unless like the millimeters are so small that they can't really do it. So I'm like, all right, whatever. But it had me thinking, like, okay, I could just get a $299 S and chill for a minute until either the price for the X drops a little bit, or they come out with some revisions, or maybe some special edition console or something. I'm thinking. I don't know, man. I'm thinking. It's got the ray trace. I'm thinking. And say if I get that, right, on launch. Get the S on launch and wait for the, year or two to fly by for when the dumb games is going to be launching. You know what I mean? Like the Fables and all that stuff. Halo Infinite and all that. Then I could get the X. Throw it in there, like, bam. And this is cool. Let's pause that real quick. Like, they have the, you can look at and see the different pieces of it, right? And I'm like, oh, okay. So they did two, like the X and the S are two separate, unique SKUs. I mean, they're different SKUs, obviously. But the boards are different. Like, this board is not the same as the X's board. The X's board is split in half. So the CPU, I don't even know what that is. What is that? That is, I have no idea. Okay, so that's the APU, heatsink, power supply. That's the RAM. I don't know what. Oh, that's the SSD. So dumb. So dumb. All right, so that's the SSD. Yeah, this is really like nice and simple and compact. No moving parts except for the fan. So it's like, whoa. Looking at this and I'm like, yo, this is it's a good look. I still think it looks better than the PlayStation 5. So now Sony's gonna have their announcement, whatever thing, on Wednesday, on the 16th at 3 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Pacific. And I'm thinking, like, even if they come out with $499, $399, $499, they're losing money. So either way, right? Sony is in a bad situation because they have to lose money on each console. Meanwhile, they want to sell as many consoles as they can, excuse me. So if they get their way and sell all the consoles, which will probably happen, they're losing money. They're losing money. Now, granted, they'll make it back, that's presumably, but the problem is, and this is what's been going on, is that a lot of pony boys have been like, yo, I'm going to get a S and a PlayStation 5. And that's not what Sony wants to hear. Sony doesn't want to hear, oh, I'm going to get an S and a Play. Because if they get the S or if they get the X and they do that all access, that's it. Sony, it's already over for Sony as far as Game Pass versus PlayStation Now. But it's a super wrap because they're never catching up. And look at, like I always say this, look at Netflix and look at their competition that they put out of business, meaning Blockbuster Video. Even the original Netflix, which was the DVDs in the mail, they changed the name of the company. They split off. It's called DVD.com now. But y'all didn't know that. When you see, they still have those, but it's called DVD.com, a Netflix company. So, you know what I'm saying? You look at Netflix, they're so powerful, they put all these other mom and pop physical places out of business. And Sony is holding on to that physical mentality, that old school mentality. Oh, we're going to sell consoles in order to sell games. And I'm like, all right, that's fine. But it's really about services. And Microsoft, Phil Spencer said this. When he got the job, he says, yo, it's really about services. And all you got to do is look, you know what I'm saying? World of Warcraft was the first instance for me. I was like, wow, really? People paying $15 to, okay. You know, that was the catalyst, and Netflix, so on and so forth. So I'm like, all right, cool. And I'm like, how the only thing that Sony has right now is the hope for good exclusives. Now, Ghost of Tsushima, I will say, was a good game. I'm not going to say it was whack. Not going to say it was a masterpiece. But when you have Stockholm Syndrome and you hungry for any little bit of driplet of juice, you're going to be like, yo, that's the best game ever. Now, I can understand that. Because y'all are holding on to a dream that's slowly crumbling away before your eyes. And when you got ponies talking about, oh, I'm going to get an Xbox 2 as well, then there's a problem. Then that whole, PlayStation is going to outsell Xbox 2 to 1. Not really. Because when they buying both, it's going to be neck and neck for a minute. Actually, it's not going to be neck and neck for a minute. It's going to be a lot of cats who went to the Sony side and they're looking at what Sony's doing and they're looking at Game Pass and they're looking at, it's like, well, I can get a PC, Game Pass. And it's not really about console sales. It's about Game Pass, right? They're already at over 10 million. After this Christmas, after this launch, they're gonna be, I'm gonna say, closing in on 15 million. Let me just say that. I'm gonna just predict that right quick. By the end of whatever the quarter is past this, I don't know where the quarters lie, Xbox, but whatever the quarter is past this launch, by the end of that quarter, 15 million Game Pass. If it's 20, I'd be surprised, but I'm gonna just conservatively say 15 million. And they'll be chilling. And then, and here's the thing as well. Game Pass is a good ass deal, right? I'm playing Life is Strange. Tell Me Why. I played Battletoads. I'm playing all these games. Still playing Grounded. I'm playing all these games, right? I'm like, yeah. And that's like, it's like, yeah, I played Gears and I played Forza Horizon 4. And those are dope games too. But I'm like, yo, the super big giant dope games haven't even come out yet. I'm still looking to the future for the goodness. Remember when Sony said greatness awaits? Greatness is coming. It's not greatness await. Greatness is coming on the Xbox. Game Pass is there, and it's like a seductive, beautiful supercar. It's like one of them Lamborghini SUVs. Like, dang, that's, I don't know what that is. It's different, but alluring. And so it's just a matter of time. And so now Sony has to play this price game, right? How long is it going to take for Sony to get out of the red with the PlayStation 5 with their sales? The more they sell, the more they lose. It's a losing situation for Sony right now. If they charge what they need to charge in order to sell it at cost without losing any money, nobody's going to buy it. Okay, that's a lie. People will buy it. Not a lot of people are going to buy it. The hardcore pony's going to buy it. Everybody else will be like, yeah, $299. I'm getting an Xbox. All right. If you're gonna charge $499 for discless, and then you have to support the digital side, I mean, I guess they could do that now that they're using the Xbox Jammy, the Xbox Cloud. So it's like, it's like so. Ooh, what the guy? Oh man, did you see this whole Ubisoft? Yo, that was crazy. I was watching it. I was like, the best thing that was on that Ubisoft thing was the not even Immortals, Phoenix Rising. I was looking forward to that. Gods and Monsters is what it was called before. Gods and Monsters. And now I'm looking at it, I'm like, it's like, oh, people are like, oh, it's like Breath of the Wild, and all the Nintendo fans are mad because it's they're biting. I don't know. I was like, whatever, man. And I was like, okay, it's not offensive, but it's like an Assassin's Creed game, but more fantastical and more kid friendly visuals, right? That's what it is, really, right? So I was like, okay, maybe that's a better look for this type of game. I mean, honestly, if it's not a sports game, if it's a game like this, it's either Assassin's Creed or Watch Dogs, right? It's all the same. Open world, do all the stuff. I bet you the map looks just not the map, but there's gonna be a map. There's gonna be icons. They're all gonna look the same, But I got the cool thing about this game is that you can do character customization, so you can make your character look like whatever. So that's kind of cool. And I don't mind how she looks. You know what? I would be lucky to actually create a character like that myself. I'm trying. I'm just learning topology. Topology in Blender, and I already messed up the model that I was using. The model that I was creating, it's all out of whack, and I tried to rig it, and it was like the rigging didn't work quite. So I got to go back, redo it, but actually I'll probably just do another model on top of that one. Because the shape is pretty good, it's just some of the vertices are messed up. So I have to do a super low res model of that one in order to make it better, and to make the rigging work better. I would say, because I think I just have too many vertices, too many faces on it, and it's. I mean, it's not that it's too many faces. It's just that the loops are just all messed up. So they're not. It's not working. Not working out. But I don't know. This game looks okay. It doesn't look bad. I just don't. I mean, she looks like Kid Icarus right there. I'm not even gonna lie, right? Don't she? With the wings and stuff. But she's not a kid. But I don't know what. I mean, it's really just it's like, hey, go help the gods and stuff. So I was like, oh, okay. I don't know what's going on, but sure. What else did they have? Watchdog Legion. I don't know about that game. I mean, it's a Watchdog game. Division 2. Pigeon. Okay, this Prince of Persia. I mean, that must have been a little team working on that, right? Because Kaiju says she looks like Link's sister. True that. She looks like. Yeah, she does look like Link's sister. I would agree. What's up? Hope everything's going good with you up there. The Prince of Persia. It's a remake. It does look better than the original. I think that we as gamers forget what the original looked like. I'll play it real quick. And the original didn't look all that good. But then I saw this and I was like, wait, is that the remake stuff? Because that don't look no. See, that's the original right there. Like, she ain't got no fingers. She ain't got no fingers. It's like all one big like thing like that. And now this actual articulation. And it does look better, but it doesn't look that good. And honestly, it's just the characters. And honestly, it's just the faces. Honestly. It really is just the faces. They're like wooden, and just the way that they look, the actual just geometry of the faces don't look all that good, or maybe they don't have enough animation articulation points in the faces themselves and stuff. So I'm like, I mean, it's kind of cool that they got the original voice actor, but I don't. It doesn't seem good. Not good enough. I'm trying to find the right words. But I think, yeah, a lot of the animation and it doesn't look. It looks better, but it does not look as good as I think it should. Because Sands of Time was that 360 or was that original Xbox? That was 360. That had to be 360, right? Ooh, they getting all wet and duh. They should have had Jake Gyllenhaal's face on there. That would have been dope. Right? Sands of Time. Prince of Persia, Sands of Time, the movie, remake the movie. Yeah, I wasn't feeling that. I was like, I don't know. But yeah, this thing looked cool. This animated wait, Shan Fisher? I love animation. I love it. Now, what's cool about this type of animation is that it's like minimal. It's like 12 frames a second. And it still look good. It still looks good. It's like, that's Sam. Imagine if Michael Einstein doesn't do his voice, but imagine if he did, that'd be dope. I'd be like, a big part of what Sam Fisher was that voice, man. It was Michael Ironside. But yeah, I don't think he's in a good spot right now. So. Oh, shot him in the face. So much violence. I like that blur too when he ran. That was pretty dope. Whoa. See, in like animation like this, there are no wasted frames. Because you have no frames to waste. It's 12 frames a second. So it's like, It's pretty dope. I like it. Yeah, it's pretty tight. That is pretty tight. Drop it. Bing bong boom. But yeah. So this is Rainbow Six Siege, right? He's gonna be in it, I guess. I don't know. I don't care because I don't play that game. Sorry. No. Yay. But that's it for that stuff. Gamescom, nah. Drake Hollow. But yeah. I mean, there's a whole bunch of stuff going on. Like right now, the whole Madden 21. I'm glad I don't play the football games. I'm glad I don't play the sports games. I'm glad I don't play the EA games. Actually, I was looking at EA. EA Play is on Game Pass now. I believe they're already in there, or it's set up so that I think they already are in there. I haven't downloaded anything yet, but they have Madden 20, 19, I think 18's in there too. They have like previous games. So if you want to play an actual better Madden game, I guess you could play 20. It's on EA. What's up, Bonds? How you doing? Hopefully everything is good with you. And also, I have been watching some Flight Simulator videos because it's kind of interesting what they're doing with that game. It's so weird. It's like Flight Simulator. You would never thought that Flight Simulator would be such a kind of a crazy. It's kind of. This dude flew to Africa and landed his plane, got out his plane, and started messing with elephants and giraffes. And I was like, wait, this is Flight. Huh? So it was it was so crazy, man. It's so crazy. Override 2, I don't know what that is. That's let's look at it. I mean, I saw this trailer. I just don't care. Oh, it was a mech. It was a mech battle royale out there or something, or a mech not battle royale, a mech yeah, it was pretty kitty. Oh yeah, the goldfish. We eat together. In the window. That song. Oh oh oh. Anyway, yeah, it's like show me gameplay, son. I don't care about that. What else I got here? Velocity architecture. Blah 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 blah. Was this Series X? Oh, do they have the Series S? Oh, they showed it in here. The Series S load time. Let me see if I can find it. I think it was 12 seconds on. Here it is right here. So it's 12 seconds on the Series S for the Outer Worlds, and then it was 50 something seconds. And I was like, that's pretty good for like a $299 system compared to this is the 1S. Okay, so if they would have done the 1X, it's not, I don't think it's 50, it's a long time because I played that game. I don't know if it's 53 seconds, but it may be close. It's closer to, it's not 12, I'll tell you that. And look at that. You see the stuff popping in? You saw that? It's still popping in. Hold on. Hold on. Let me see. Let me pay attention real quick. Yep. Boop. Oh, shadows. Boop. Okay. Wait. So let's go back to. Let's see when it pops in. Let's see if there's any like super popping like that. It shouldn't be. It should all kind of come in. Oh, I see what they did. It's the same, except it fades in a little bit more better. It's not as abrupt. But that's Unreal. That's Unreal Engine. I believe they use an Unreal Engine. So that's one of the things about Unreal. They had that problem last generation too with that engine. So I wonder if that's going to be an ongoing thing with and this was interesting too. I think this was the mesh. Oh, sampler feedback where they the different colors denote the different level of detail, basically. So like the purple, there's no purple, but let me skip back here. They show like this rotating and how the textures are loading in and stuff where you don't see it. It's on the backside of the geometry. I was like, yeah, that's pretty dope. Pretty dope right there. So blue is less resolution, right? Orange is pretty much, and yellow is mid. So that's pretty dope. I guess that's AI kind of controlled too. So it's that plus the machine learning resolution upscaling. It's a whole bunch of different things that makes whatchamacallit, the S pretty dope. Now they're gonna show Gears 5 running at 120. Of course you're not gonna see it at 120 because my stream is at 30. Even if you watch it on YouTube, I believe it's at 60. It's at 60, 1080p 60. But and that's the highest I can get on this screen anyway. I don't think YouTube does 120. Pretty sure they don't. Let me see. No, they don't. So, but 120, son. I'm looking at this. I'm like, okay, I can't see the 120, but multiplayer 120. This is pretty dope. And I don't know if there's any ray tracing in it. Maybe some hybrid ray tracing. Kind of, if you look at the reflections, then maybe. But honestly, when you play Gears multiplayer, stuff like that doesn't really matter. And it already looks good. And I'm like looking at it, right? I'm looking at Gears. I'm looking at this. And I'm like, that looks good. It's like, this is a Series S. This isn't the X. And I played it on the 1X, right? So it looked good. Yeah, it was 4K or whether it's native or whether it was dynamic, it still looked good. So if that's not even 4K, that's like 1440p or whatever. It still looks good. So I'm like, yo, it keeps drawing me back to like, yo, maybe I should just get one for now as a stopgap, And this is why I was saying that last week. This is so exciting, right? It's exciting because I'm looking at what Microsoft is doing, right? And whether or not you're a fan of their games, oh yeah, Xbox got no games. What they're doing on every little section, piece, or sector, or whatever you want to call it, of their actual business. Like, okay, we're going to buy all these studios so we can get some games. That's going to take a while. So people going to say Xbox ain't got no games for a minute, for years, until these games come out, right? That's something that they're going to have to deal with. But in the meantime, they fixed their hard drive. They fixed their hardware, They fixed the hardware, and they were like, yo, and look at it, all this stuff. That's all Xbox Series S. So I'm like, oh, well, it don't look like a TAR 2600. It looks pretty all right. And so they fixed the hardware, right? And they fixed it even better this gen. There you go, those two guys. And I was like, okay, I kind of like what's going on. I kind of feel what you're doing. And then Game Pass snuck up on me. I said this before. I was like, yeah, I Game Pass, whatever, don't care, right? And then I got it. And I was like, all right, this is all right. And then it went away, and I was like, uh-oh, miss it. So Game Pass snuck up on me. Now Game Pass is the best deal in gaming. I don't have to worry about buying games for a minute. What's up, Opti? PlayStation done. What are you talking about, Opti? Oh, boy. Is it opposite day? Did you hit your head? Opti says that series all access program saves you $60 in the long run. Yeah. You must have missed the zero on that, because you have to put into account the cost of Game Pass Ultimate for 2 years, which is how much? $360. So, math it up. I'm just saying, math it up. That's more than 60, But nobody's talking about it. If I didn't have Game Pass, well, I wouldn't do it anyway, because I don't want to mess up my credit right now. Even though I'd pay it off, and it would improve my credit in the long run, so it's not bad. Opti says $299 next gen console at this day and age is insane. That is true. That's the best thing that they have done. I mean, right now, the worst thing they've done in recent days, Xbox, is that they screwed up the whole Halo Infinite launch, perception, all that stuff. They screwed that up, right? But every other move has been nice, for the most part, right? This last blitzkrieg of information, $299, $499, it's like, what? And people, look, it's a global recession. There's a global, I would say, depression, if you want to. Opti says, my only complaint of the Series S is no disk drive, small storage. I don't think that's a big deal. Opti says, because if you have shitty, slow internet like Gito, you won't be able to download all those big games or even bigger patches. So your next best option is the $499 Series X. Yeah, well, like I was saying before, what I would probably do is get a big, juicy SSD, like a SATA SSD. Throw that in an enclosure and have it as an external. And you can't play the series games off of that, specifically next gen games, but you can play everything else that's kind of cross or whatever. So you'll be good for a couple of years at least. And you're gonna need a kind of a massive storage solution anyway for those, because you're not gonna have all your games on that. You know what I mean? And if you buy another terabyte, which is crazy expensive at this point, that's why you buy the mass storage, and then put whatever games you're gonna put on there. Put your old library on there, 4 terabytes or whatever, and then have a few games on the actual console itself. I'm fine with that until the actual SSDs drop as far as price and stuff go for the S. And my thing about that is that they had a price leak, $219 or whatever, for the Series X, Series S, Series X external expandable hard drive SSD, and I'm like, okay, that's pretty high for a terabyte. That's pretty high. But then I'm thinking, oh, but Sony's is gonna be more because of the nature of their hard drive. And like they try to be smart and slick and be like, yeah, ours is faster, yeah, it's better. Meanwhile, faster means more money. You get faster RAM, more money. Faster CPU, faster clock speed, more money. Faster SSD, more money. Go look up a SSD for PCI 4 with the speeds that they require for the PlayStation 5. They don't even exist. But anything that's like close, that actually like 7 gigabytes a second, whatever. It's like, it was like $400 and some dollars. I think it was $450 or something like that. I'm like, huh? It's like ridiculous. So I'm like, you think that the Series S and Series X hard drive is expensive? Yeah, y'all gonna be in shock when Sony's compatible hard drives, because I don't know if they're gonna do first party hard drive hardware. I don't think they're gonna do that, because it'd be way too much money. I don't think they can afford, especially with these price drops on the Xbox side, they can't afford to produce or lose any money on anything else, because they're gonna lose so much money. I'm trying to think how much money is Sony going. It doesn't even matter how much money Xbox loses on their side, because they got bank. But Sony is a smaller company, fiscally speaking. Money monetizes wises. They are smaller. They have less money, less capital, less. And so it's crazy, right? They're shelling out all this money for third-party stuff, exclusives and stuff, third-party exclusives. Meanwhile, they're going to lose money on each system sold. So I'm like, yo, they must be going crazy. And I heard today that there was some strife going on internally in Sony, where the American side and the Japanese side were arguing about the speed of the memory, the I/O, the RAM, not the I/O, the RAM. And the American side wanted to make it faster in order to be more in competition with the Xbox. What Xbox is doing as far as their speed, Sony wanted it to be 512. Right now it's at 480 or something like that. They wanted it to be 512, which is still not as fast as Xboxes, but whatever. And Japan was like, nah, son. Because if they did that, if they went faster with their RAM, more money. And they, right now, I hear the plane. They can't afford it. They can't afford it. It's oh my gosh. It is there. I would hate to be in Sony's shoes right now, because they're sitting there, they're the market leader, quote unquote. But you look at it and you're like, okay, even if the PlayStation 5 digital and disc comes out at $399 and $499, and then you look at what Xbox is doing, $299 and $499, and you look at it, and you're like, okay, if you're a PlayStation hardcore PlayStation, you're gonna go for the $399, because, but still, like you said, Opti, that small hard drive, PlayStation 5 only got 825. You knock that down to about 6 because of, the OS and all that stuff. Maybe not 6, but whatever, 6 something. Let's see, 620. Let's say 650. Opti says $399, $499, and he says, I hope it's $299 and $399. Never. $299 and $399 though. That'll never happen. Think about it. If the rumors are true that the cost to make a PlayStation 5, they didn't say which version, was $450. That's not without shipping, what the retailer's cut is, all that stuff. That's why they're trying to sell them directly right now, so they don't have to cut in the retailers. So they could probably put a cheaper price on it. They're trying. I'll give them credit. I'll give them props for trying. But the whole thing of waiting for Xbox to go is I don't want to call it smart. It almost feels like they're cheating, right? But it's not like, so, okay, imagine a world where the prices for the Xbox Series S did not leak, and they didn't announce the $499 Series X. Imagine that didn't happen. Imagine Sony comes out next week on Wednesday talking about $499 for the digital, $599 for the disc. Imagine that happens. And then imagine Xbox comes $299, $499. Boom. But you know what? You know what might have happened? The Xbox Series S might have been $399. And the X might have been $599. You know what I'm saying? Or $499. Whatever. But you know what? So it might have been, it might have worked out for us as a whole, as gamers, better this way, that the leak came out, so that, we get a $299. Look, I'm still thinking about $299. I'm still like, yo, should I just get a $299? I don't know. I think I'm gonna get it. I think I'm gonna get $299. It's just too good, man. It's just too good. What is this? This is the same thing. And I'm looking at Sony. I'm like, they can't compete on price. They can't compete on power. All they have is exclusives. And if they screw that up, they're done. It's going to be 2006 all over again, except right now they have the promise of good exclusives, which they didn't have in 2006. But once that goes away, or if that goes away, which I don't see it going away realistically. I mean, I think Horizon Forbidden West will be good. Spider-Man Miles Morales, meh. I think people are overestimating what that game is and how good it's gonna be. I'm gonna tell you right now. I don't think they haven't even shown gameplay. Is that supposed to be a launch title? I don't think it's gonna be a launch title. I don't think Miles Morales. I don't think that's gonna be a launch. If it is a launch title, then it ain't gonna be all that. Cause you can't. They need more time. They need more time to make gooder game. To make game gooder, unless, like I said, it's gonna be little tiny Miles Morales, and then just remaster Spider-Man. You know, put some ray tracing and stuff on there. That's it. And a high resolution. That's whack as hell, man. I'd be mad. I would be so mad. I'd be like, yeah, Miles. Yeah, I finished that in the afternoon. Done. So you're gonna play for afternoon, and what else? You're gonna play Astrobot Playland, whatever it's called. You gonna play that? It's so bad. Oh man, Opti says it's gonna be lit. Opti says, I'm excited for the conference this Wednesday. Gonna be lit. I hope they show Dark Souls Remake, Miles Morales, and say available at launch. Sony got the devs that delivers. Don't worry about it. Worry about the Halo Infinite. That's true. I'm not worried about Halo Infinite. Well, I am worried about it, but I'm not worried about it because actually, Halo's cool. It's a good universe. Here's the thing about Halo. I wish that 343 / Microsoft / Xbox would utilize the property of Halo better. Now, that's not, I don't know what the Showtime show is going to be like, the Steven Spielberg, produced show. I don't know what that's going to be like, so maybe that's going to be hot. Who knows? But as far as, what they're doing, it'll be fine. The main thing about Halo has always been the story about the relationship between Cortana and Chief, right? Everything else is extra. The grunts making funny, phrasing and dying and the demon's coming. There he is. And this is pretty funny when they were talking English. And then was it in Reach where they weren't talking English in Reach? They were talking whatever language. It was weird. But going back to like Sony's offering, right? Dark Souls remake. Okay. I mean, it's a remake, sure. It's not I would say that Dark Souls is not a mainstream type of game. It's not one of those giant, oh man, everybody's gonna play this. No. I mean, it's a niche title to begin with. That's what FromSoft makes. That's all they make. That's all they've ever made. So, it'll be good. And people who like the first one and stuff, they're gonna love it probably. So I'm not hating on that. Ratchet and Clank. Oh yeah, Ratchet and Clank is going to be launch window. They've already said that, so it's not gonna be a launch title. If it does be a launch title, if it is a launch title, right? What we've seen of it is gonna be basically the game. This is, so it's like, and maybe there'll be a cool boss or something, but I'll be real. Games like that, it's an old school game with new school with modern wrapper on it, with a modern look to it. It's not like Final Fantasy VII Remake where they took Final Fantasy 15 mechanics and fight systems and stuff and then threw Final Fantasy VII characters and location. No, it's not like that. It's like Ratchet and Clank, but this generation graphics, but some of the they've added mechanics obviously, but it's still a third person shoot 'em up platformy type of game. And there's not, how much can you do with that? I mean, you could probably add some kind of Uncharted type of set pieces in it, but I don't see. It looks good, but that's gonna wear off, and you're like, oh, okay, yeah. Oh, I'm going through this, and oh, okay. And I look at that game, right? I played a lot of Sunset Overdrive, so I'll assume they have the same animators and same animation, because you look at the animation in Sunset Overdrive and you look at Ratchet and Clank, the same. The movement, speed. It's not the exact same animation, obviously, but it's the same people. Obviously, it's the same team, but it's like, oh, okay, you can see the DNA from game to game. So it's like, okay. But it's and if you look at this gen's Ratchet and Clank and you look at that one, it's like, oh, the jump isn't really that big. They added the going from here to to the different worlds, but there's still load times. You can see them, you can see the jumps, and it's all hidden. And so them even saying no load times is disingenuous. So I'm like, I never believe anything that Sneaky Cerny and Sony say. Wow, that's a lot of S's. Opti says, I'm hoping they show Last of Us 2 standalone multiplayer this Wednesday and say available at launch. That would be good for them. That would be something cool. Kind of like the jump from Halo CE to Halo Infinite isn't that big. Yeah, pretty much. Yep. I mean, the difference is, and I give Halo Infinite a little bit of slack, but not a lot of slack. But just a tiny bit of slack. But not a lot, because it should have looked better regardless. But it's real-time lighting in Halo Infinite, which every other game, even Ratchet and Clank, is not real-time lighting. That's why it looks so good, because static lighting, the sun is in one spot, so you can pre-bake a whole bunch of lights. You can do a whole bunch of things that you can't do with dynamic lighting. Dynamic lighting is dynamic lighting. You cannot bake any shadows, any light sources, any highlights, nothing. That's why a lot of the stuff look plain and bland, because everything is dynamic. The sun is setting, the light is changing, reflections off of stuff. And there was no ray tracing on it either, so that made it look actually worse. So I was like, yeah, this is bad. But Halo, I'm like, okay, Halo's going to be a year from Halo's next year. I'm not even worried about Halo right now. I'm looking at the other stuff. What I'm really looking at is like Cyberpunk. That's going to be good. I mean, look, I've been playing Grounded. Like every weekend, I don't play it during the week because I spend a couple hours in it. And I'm just kind of like, what should I do now? Oh, and there's like, I'm supposed to build like I need to craft like a spider's hood or something, right? So I've killed a couple of spiders. Everybody's like, spiders the worst. Oh, so scary, right? I'll mess them up. I'll be like, fling, fling, fling. I'll be like Hawkeye, like, hitting them with the arrows, because you can't get close to a spider. They jack you up. They be like, hi, chunk, right? So the wolf spider ain't no joke. The orb spider, they're like, you hit them with an arrow, they start running. You know what I'm saying? So they're like little chickens. But the wolf spider is like, nah, son. And if you hit him and you start running, he will catch you and he will kill you. There's no way, you can't escape it. So I was like, damn, how am I gonna get this? There's this one wolf. I need another pair of wolf spider fangs in order to complete my hood, my spider hood. And I'm like, how am I gonna kill this motherflower spider? And there's a stink bug over there, like I'm like, get out of here, man. There's all these bunch of grass mites, and I'm like, man. So I'm like, how am I gonna kill this spider, man? And I'm still trying to figure it out. So if you like sandbox open world games, if you like crafting, building your bases, resource gathering, Grounded is no joke. And here's the thing. Grounded is a lot deeper than I think people realize what it is. Grounded is, I think, I think there's a dark story behind Grounded, and they haven't really it's something that you have to, how Five Nights at Freddy is like, oh, it's a scary jump scare game where these animatronic monsters can come and scare you and you're scared, right? And that's what the game is, basically. But you learn what the backstory is, where these kids get trapped into the machines and they like get chewed up inside and turn, and it's all crazy. I'm like, what? Wait, what? And it's about like a murderer and a serial killer. It's so crazy, the Five Nights at Freddy kind of backstory and lineage and stuff. I'm like, okay, that's messed up. That made Five Nights at Freddy 1,000 times better than I thought it was, right? I think Grounded is similar. I'm not gonna say it's the same. similar because I found something in Grounded. It's in that spider hole. I went there. I was like, what the hell is this? I was like, oh boy, okay, all right. This game is, and that's why I'm sticking with it because there's something going on with that game, and I don't know what it is, but it seems to be really interesting, really good, kind of intriguing, and I'm like, it's like one of those. It's not like it's just a little kiddie game. Look at the nah, son. It's a little bit more. And I see all these pony boys out there talking about, oh, look at all these kiddie games on the Xbox, like Honey I Shrunk the FNs and all that stuff. And I'm like, y'all don't know, man. Y'all just don't. Y'all look at a game, you play it for 10 minutes, and like, oh, this is stupid. It's not Destiny, or it's not whatever. And I'm like, all right, whatever. People get different things out of games, If you like I used to play Minecraft like that. I was like, oh, Minecraft's cool. You can build stuff and stuff. And now I'm like, Grounded is like, oh, this is a little better. It's prettier. The music's pretty good. The sound design is really good. I would say wear headphones when you're playing that game because it's like you can hear like the creatures and stuff crawling around. So it's like, oh, what was that? And I found I looked this up though because I had no idea that there was an underground cave. I died a whole bunch of times because I was trying to swim. You got to swim through, and I kept drowning. And I got one of it's a 4-leaf clover. They have stat boosts. What do they call it? I can't remember. But you get to level up your kind of stat boost. Like, oh, I could chop down grass better, or I could attack enemies better, or I could shoot my arrows better, or have a more health better. All that stuff. It's pretty dope. Man, it's a good time to be. I know there's a global pandemic and apocalypse, and everybody lost their job and stuff. So ain't nobody got no money. And that's why Microsoft's Xbox's approach to this gen coming up seems to be more consumer friendly overall, but it's that, and plus it's like, okay, prices are good, consumer friendly. Plus, oh, we got this finance program, so $25 a month or $35 a month. Get an X. Get an S or get an X. I'm like, plus you get Game Pass. I'm like, if I did not have an Xbox or I didn't have Game Pass, come on, son. That's a no-brainer. $35 a month for Xbox Series X for 2 years, and you get Game Pass Ultimate for 2 years. Come on, son. All you gotta do is pay that money and not miss a payment. Come on, son. That's a no-brainer. Just like you said, Opti, it's a no-brainer. And that's where I'm like, ooh, that was a good move. So it's like, you look at what Microsoft is doing this gen, right? As opposed to last gen where they were off the rails. They were like, brr, we got a console for you. It's called the 360. I was like, please fire Donnie D now. I mean, that was the line that got him fired. I will believe that to the day I die, that when he said that, lights out. That was it, Donnie. Pack your bags. I bet he was packing his bags already. We got a console for you. It's called the Xbox 3. Zip, 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 zip. Just walk off, because that was it. When he said that, I was like, that's it. But now, you got Phil. And it's funny, some of these ponies, they're like, oh, Phil be lying. He said this, he said that. Crab Gamer be like, oh, man, they said they're going to have this, and then they didn't have it. And then I'm like, man, he is so butthurt about, I think Phil unfollowed him on Twitter or something. It was something just like something stupid. I don't even know the whole details, but I'm like, y'all are, this is too serious. I mean, it's serious for them because that's like their living, kind of, sort of. They make money off of that, being a YouTuber. But honestly, it's like, I cannot listen to these guys. Even on the Xbox side, I'm like, I mean, at least make me laugh. Be creative. Just don't sit there, oh, this is what happened. But some of them, they get views. I'm like, oh, they got a couple thousand people watching them. But then I'm looking at them like, okay, whatever. Bond says, finally turned in watching Kong Skull Island. Oh, nice. Spider-Man Homecoming. Far From Home was betting Homecoming. They were both equal. You know what? I saw Kong Skull Island, right? And I was like, that was all right. I didn't realize that was Brie Larson and Kong Skull Island, and I didn't I mean, the perception is everybody hates her, and I had no kind of thought either way. And I didn't. I don't hate her as Captain Marvel, but I don't. I'd have to look into like what. I mean, I know she said some stuff that kind of pushed people the wrong way, but I think a lot of the problems that the public has with people like Brie Larson or whatever is the hyper sensitivity. I think it's because of the millennial generation where they grew up with just kind of more like less I guess easier if you want to be. Bond says my G if it's not a fan of her and Captain Marvel. And she was alright. Like I said, I think it was more about how they wrote her as opposed to how she how her performance was. Because I think she has the capability of being charismatic and stuff, right? I believe that. I think she's an actor like if you say, oh, Shelley Duvall is Captain Marvel, I'm like, oh hell no, I don't. Nah, son, nope. But I think Brie Larson can do it. I think it might have been a director didn't, or how she was written, or yeah, I think she could have been is like a movie like that. When you have a character that is the lead, you need charisma or comedy or something like Star-Lord, right? He's like a goofy guy, but he's funny and he has some charisma, whatever, you know. So he is, and his team rounds it all off. So you have all of the different personalities that make it a family, and it works, right? But in Captain Marvel, it's just her, so she has to have all different kind of spectrum, a giant spectrum, a large, wide spectrum of personality traits that fill and fulfill a lot of those different ones that exist in like a Guardians of the Galaxy or something. So yeah, that was I think that's more director / writer. And you can't always George Lucas it, you know what I'm saying? If you're like, oh man, just action, it's like no, you know. And that if that's the case, then you need to hire someone whose natural personality is the one you want for the character, you know. And luckily, George Lucas, whoever was the casting director on that, they did that with Star Wars. Anyway, I'm hot now. I mean, I'm always hot, but I'm actually hot. So, let me check my my things, make sure I didn't have. I'm pretty sure I had something else as far as news. How PlayStation Now for PS5 could rival Xbox Game Pass. That's funny. That's really funny. That is so funny. I think it's too late for PlayStation Now. Remember? Peter Moore said it. I said this last week. First to 10 million. Right? And Game Pass is past 10 million. So, you know, if you're going to use that metric, Sony lost that one. And that's a big one. So, the launch. Oh, there was a launch. That was last week. Series V. I didn't even look into the Series V rumors. I was like, really? Is there going to be an Xbox without a hard drive? And it's going to be the same as the X, but it's a V? I was like, I don't know about that. So Assassin's Creed and Watch Dogs Legion are going to be launch titles. There's a lot of launch titles. And they're not like, they're not first party Xbox studio games. But there's a lot of launch titles coming out for these consoles. And if the X is launching on my birthday, son, November 10th, son. Yo, Microsoft. My birthday is November 10th. You guys are launching a boxes on November. Can I have one? You give me the cheap one. I'm going to $2.99. And I will be forever in your debt. I will be like, every time I do a stream, I'll be like, this stream is sponsored by the Xbox that I got right here. Right? I don't know. Maybe I should write to Phil, like, hi, Phil. My birthday is on the 10th of November. Thank you. Just do that. Oh, also, I like the Xbox. I have every Xbox that I didn't buy every. I bought one 360. I bought a couple of 360s I only bought one. I got the Xbox, I got the 360, I got the old school X, I got the X1X. I'm gonna get the Series S, and the Series X. Whew. Man, that's 6 consoles in 20 years. 5 and if I do just one, then it's 5 in 20 years, which is an average of 4 per year. That's not bad. Yeah, whatever. Who knows? Let's play this again. I need cooling. I need some cooling. Sorry. Let's look at Beard Man. He is my friend. We are Beard Brothers. Although he has more darkness, but I have more top at the top here. So I would rather have whiter hair than no hair. Whiter hair than less hair. Because you can color white hair. You can't color no hair. No hair, you can't. The color doesn't stick to nothing there. I mean, you could draw something on your scalp and then color it in, like with a spray can. You know how they do that? They like put a piece of card and go, put a hairline on it. I'm like, huh? I'm like, what? Then LeBron James, because he's going bald, so he does the line, right? He goes, put a little spray paint on your head. I'm like, what are you painting? Why? You know what I got to do? I'm going to shoot a video soon. And I want to change the color of my hair. Probably do it darker or something. But I think they have temporary gel color, if you know what I mean. It's not like hair color. It's like a gel, like a pomade or something that you put in your hair and make it darker. I might do that. Bond says the Jack Black King Kong. My GF asks, how did Peter Jackson went from Lord of the Rings and gave King Kong? That's true. Well, King Kong was his jam because he was a fan. I think that was one of his first movies that he saw, and he saw that, and he was like, oh, and it kind of made him want to be a filmmaker. So that's why he did it. So it was a passion project for him more than anything else. So it's all right. I didn't hate it. I didn't love it either, but it was all right. Honestly, anything with Andy Serkis in it, I'm down. I love Andy Serkis. Andy Serkis is like, I don't want to call him an underrated. I think he is a little underrated, but he is so good that he can carry a movie. But he's like he was Caesar in all of the Planet of the Apes, right? He was Gollum. He was whatever his name is in Black Panther. I don't remember his name. And he was also in was it Civil War? No. It was Age of Ultron. I believe it was in Age of Ultron too. Same character. And he was in the Journey to the West, the game, the video, it was on everything, a multi-plat game. You know what I want? I want Ninja Theory to get in touch with Andy Serkis and get back with him for him to be in one of their games. That's what I want. Like they got Microsoft money now, right? So they need to team up again, have Andy Serkis go up in there, and he can direct all of because he's directing now. And Andy Serkis can direct all of the kind of cutscenes and all that stuff, the cinematic ports, and just let's go do that, and do a game, man. Come on, man. You look, Microsoft, utilize that big fat deep pockets that you have, and splash that money around. Be like, yo, Andy Serkis gives that star quality to the game, and also it will make the game better. Even as Snoke in The Last Jedi. He was good. He was not a bad part of The Last Jedi. He wasn't the problem with The Last Jedi. He was one of the better parts of I like Snoke. I was like, oh, Snoke, And he was in The Force Awakens, so barely. But in The Last Jedi, he was like, I don't know what that was, but he was in there. Yeah, so, yeah. Andy Serkis. We want more Andy Serkis, please. He's so good. And he's going to be in The Batman as Alfred Pennyworth. And I'm like, yep. Pennyworth, that's his name? I'm down. I'm like, yo, yes, please. Yes. The Batman is kind of shaping up to be kind of a sleeper, super dope movie. Sorry, I got the... But anyway, the next gen is gonna be dope. If I feel like Sony's in a little bit of trouble, even if the perception is, oh, the prices are pretty good, they're not going to do as well as they did this gen. They're not going to do as well as they did in 2013. And that's a fact, because just by the sheer fact that there are people that are not Xbots, that are like Sony guys, are like, yeah, I'm gonna get it's $299. That's a good. You said it yourself, Opti. $299 is insane. So it's like, it's a no-brainer for like everybody. You know, all the people. The reason why the PlayStation 4 flew off the shelves versus the Xbox is because it was the cheaper console. So now you're looking at Xbox versus PlayStation. Now the cheaper console will be an Xbox for next gen. And a lot of people, like they said, the 4K penetration rate as far as the public is not. It's still not like 50%. It's like 30% or something, or 40%. I think around 40%. And I'm like, oh, okay. And so I thought it would be higher by then, but I'm like, okay. Even if I get a Series S, it'll upscale to 4K, so it'll be 1440p, upscale to 4K, which is what the PlayStation 4 Pro does anyway. So it's like all these ponies talking about, oh, it's not 4K, it's not 4K. You haven't been playing 4K ever. You don't know what 4K is, so you should not stop talking. You should stop talking right now. And if you think that the PlayStation 4 Pro is 4K, go back to sleep and have another fantastical dream. I'm just saying. So if that's your metric, and if you're good with the type of 4K that the PlayStation 4 Pro does, then the Xbox Series S is the console for you. And it's so cheap. It's crazy how cheap it is. It's the more that I talk about it, the more that I think about it, the more that I believe that I will be buying a Series S. Now, day one, no. I'm gonna wait, and I want to see kind of how everything shakes out. You know, I know I'm gonna get one eventually, so it's not a big deal. You know, I'm not like on the fence, so it's gonna make or break. It's like, yeah, I'm gonna get one, so it's not a big deal. But I want to make sure that well, actually, there's no making sure. I just want to wait. Just want to wait a little bit, save up some money. I think I want to get the X first. And if I still have the inclination to get an S for the studio in here, just for streaming, I mean, honestly, the Series S is literally a Game Pass box. It should be called the Game Pass box, because it ain't an Xbox, it's a Game Pass box. You plug it in, boom, 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 Game Pass, you get it, boom, done. And I'm like, yo, that's... And it really is for streaming. Like, I got the OG Xbox One here, and I'm streaming, I'm playing Grounded, and I'm like, yo, these frames are hot garbage. I can't play this. It's so bad. And so with the Series S, I can play Grounded, not have to worry about resolution, because that'll be okay. And the frames are going to be okay. And the main thing is the frames. Even though I'm streaming at 30 frames, right? When I'm playing it, if it's not like 60 frames smooth, then I'm like, I can't do this. And especially for you guys, if it's stuttering and stopping and all that stuff, y'all don't want to watch that. You know? And this right here, this is 60. I believe this is 60. Yeah, this is 60 frames, but you guys don't see it at 60. You see it at 30. But still, it's consistent, smooth frames that you guys will see. And that's important. You know, if we get better internet up in here, then I will try to do 60 frames. I'll try to stream at 60. But right now, our internet sucks. So it's a miracle that I'm able to stream at all. And you can see, like, I'm looking at the Facebook, the resolution is hot garbage. So maybe it's the restream, or maybe it's just, you know, on my end. Maybe I'll try to, you know, change the settings on my end, up the bit rate a little bit, and see if I can get less compression and stuff. But it's just, look, I'm excited about this gen. And then it's like, it's funny because it's like, I'm excited about this gen coming up, next gen coming up, because of the hardware, because of like what Nvidia is talking about, because AMD is about to talk about their 6000 series cards. All these things are happening, and I'm like, yo, it's like, yes, games is gonna be good now. I mean, they're already good, but they're gonna be better. No more of this. That's Alana Pierce. Why am I watching her? Get back. No more of this smoking mirrors and all that stuff. No more smoking mirrors. No more anything. You know, just let's get this new stuff out. Let's see what you guys can do. All right. Let's see still with these new consoles, there will still be smoke and mirrors in order to get the best visuals and the best, frames and all that stuff. They'll still have tricks in order to, get the most out of these boxes. So let's not, pretend. They still have to do that, but it'll be on a different level. So, and a lot of it is art style. It's when you say graphics, it really is art style. It's the decisions that the studios make when they're making these games, like Halo Infinite, look like hot garbage. Speaking of Halo Infinite, not because it has ugly art or ugly character or ugly design, but the studio decided to bring it back to the original Halo, and that was a mistake because they went about it the wrong way. They can take the designs of the original, like Master Chief's armor looks hot. I'm like, yo, they got the armor perfect. That armor looks good. Too bad you don't ever see the armor usually really when you're playing the game. Anyway, but like the grunts or not the faces, but the armor, the grunts and the elites and the brutes and everything, you can make them, you can have the same design as Halo CE, right? You can do that. But you need to make a northwestern pine type of tree look like a real freaking pine tree, not like what it looked like in Halo 1. You can't do that. We need realistic, as close to realism as we can, graphics for the environment. Your metals need to look like metal. The grass needs to look better than what it looked like. You know what I'm saying? You can't be like, oh, look at the grass in Halo, let's make it like, no. Those are the things that made that look like hot garbage. Not the armor on the grunt. It was the lighting. It was the environment. And I'd never understood the whatever, the hexagonal, whatever, how many sides there were on that kind of geometry landscape stuff. I didn't understand that. I know there are places in, is it Ireland or Scotland, where they have the cliffs and stuff. And I'm like, oh, that's kind of cool, but that's not what this is. Like, you look at this, right? I'm like, that's not bad. But that tree, though, yeah, that tree's kind of whack. Look at it. Look how no, that's not good. Even the silhouette, it's like, no, that's not good. But it's, and he looks all right for, like, when you compare him to what it looked like in the, and that's not bad either. Like, you're looking at all that stuff, but when he gets out, then it's like, oh, okay, that's not that good. But yeah, it's that close-up detail stuff that didn't look that good, I still never understood that crash sequence. Like, they hit that ship, and then they kept going and hit something else. I never understood that. That's good. And his voice sounds like, I said this before, he sounds like Ren and Stimpy, like, oh, Master Chief, no, you come and get them, Stimpy. So it's not bad, though. Like, look at his armor, though. That looks good. That looks good. And that's like, oh, that's supposed to be representative of the Series X. And I'm like, it kind of looks like it could be done on this gen. For real. I'm pretty sure it could be. Yeah, I don't even know if that was a cut right there, but that still looks good. It's not even ray traced. No ray traced lighting or reflection. It still looks good. So that's where I'm like, okay, when they get it all sorted out and they throw that ray tracing up in there, it's gonna look good. And that's where the Series S comes in, because I'm like, yo, I can get Halo Infinite, get that ray tracing goodness at 1440p or whatever at the high frames and still be all right. Because it'll be basically a replacement from Xbox One X. And so I'm like, okay, I think that's a good half step until I go and pull the trigger on the Xbox Series X, which I will wait because, as the generation goes along, maybe 2-3 years in, they'll have deals, maybe a price drop or something. And then I'll be like, all right, let me get the 4K, let me get the 8K machine now. Or by then, maybe they'll have another Series Double X or whatever they're gonna call it, Series Alpha. I don't know what they call it, but I'm looking at this and I'm like, yeah, man, it's like it's the trees are distracting, the trees and the grass, for the most part. I think that's mainly it, right? And the fact that there's not a lot of kind of atmospherics. I know it's like supposed to be the magic time sunset, um, but I think they made a mistake when they did this demo as far as like the landscape. They made it too open. They made it too open as far as like, I know they're trying to show, oh, it's wide open and stuff, but what they should have done is kind of crashed the ship in a more kind of secluded, not secluded, but a more coverage, more tree coverage area. So it's like a deep forest. So crash, boom, right? And then he comes out, and then when you come out of the Pelican, it's like, oh wow, I'm in a freaking deep forest. There's pine needles all over the ground and stuff, and it's all cool. And then you kind of go a little path or something, and then there's a clearing, and that's where the warthog is. And then you go zoom and you hit the ramp and do all that stuff. That's what you should have done. You gotta wow when they come out of the of the Pelican. I don't want to see, oh, let me look up at the sky and there's the halo ring. No. I don't want to see the tree, the sun through the trees. Show me something to like, boom. You need to wow. First impression, is important. So when you come out of the Pelican, boom, deep forest, pine needles everywhere, maybe some wildlife like a crazy, I don't know, halo bear or something. And then he like, chick, and then the bear goes, whatever bear's sound makes when they run away. And maybe there's a little grunt, like, I don't know, taking a pee on a tree, and you just like, bah, you bop him real quick, and then everybody else is like, where's Charlie? I don't know, he's peeing. Then Master Chief comes out and blasts him, brah, brah, brah. It's like, the demon, he's back. You know what I mean? Come on, son. The pedigree is there. Now that Joseph Staten's back there, but hopefully he puts in some of that funny stuff, because the first Halo was kind of legendary in that the fun, there was comedy in there that you weren't expecting the grunts to be saying some funny stuff, and I was like, okay, all right, this game, all right, I didn't expect that. My mouth was open. You know what I mean? So, and you see, like, look at it. I don't know, let me see if I can. Hold up. Let me go back. Where is it at? Oh, I went too far. But let me see. Do. So, like, you see, okay, that's a bad example because it's so far away. Go do. Oh, this thing is. See, I don't mind those splash effects off of the barrels, but I think it needs more particle effects. There's certain things that it does need, and also there was I forgot what video I saw, but they did mention that there was no flashes, there was no light effects on the gun itself. So when he's shooting his gun, right? There's no lighting on the character or the gun itself, and I think that was missing. I don't think it was whatchamacallit. Like, you see that little flame coming out, right? There's no lighting associated with it on the actual gun itself. It's like a weird the actual plasma effect doesn't give off any light, and that's bad. That makes it look stupid. It makes it look not good. That's one thing that you look at Halo 5, Halo 4, and Halo 5. When he's shooting, you see the light flash on the gun and on the hand and stuff. And so stuff like that, there's no excuse for that not to be in there. So that was I think that was an oversight. I don't think that was like, oh, this is how we want the game to look. Like, no. That's stuff like that you need to have in there. You need to have your lighting straight, the physical lighting as far as interactions with objects. The one problem I had with The Last of Us 2 was that they took away contact shadows, and it made the game look worse. Now, you're like, oh, it looked beautiful. I'm like, yeah, sure. But if you look at the original gameplay that they showed, it had contact shadows in it, and it looked way better. And you have to know what to look for. And every time I see The Last of Us, I'm like, that. It went from, oh, this is kind of cool, to, oh, this is just a video game. You know what I'm saying? That's what they did. And I was like, what the hell? Okay, this is not even. Let's see if I can get him closer. Look at him. What is this, on twos or something? No, it's not on twos. There he is. I mean, it's cool. You see it. There's a lot of effects, but it's not enough. It needs to be over exaggerated, like boom, like a super boom. Especially him shooting him in the air with the two. He had the grenades, right? I think he had the grenades. Yeah. But like, if you look at his design as far as his armor, there's nothing wrong with it. And yes, he did. He has lighting from this, but the Master Chief, unless they just need to turn it up or something, because I don't know what it is. Try to go back. Oops, I went too far. Yeah, you don't see anything. I mean, you see something, right? I think I see the blue. Yeah, I see something. I think it's too subtle. That's what I think it is. But anyway, I just play this. Where am I stopping? But the time is 8:30. I don't know if I have anything else to talk about. Let me check real quick. We did watch The Social Dilemma. Bridget made me watch that. I was like, I don't need to watch it because I know what's going on. Blah blah blah. She made me watch it, and I was like, I was pouting the whole time. It was a very well done documentary, but I was like not in the mood to watch something kind of depressing, and it is kind of depressing. It's fascinating, but depressing at the same time. But well done. But still, I was like, I don't want to watch this. And she was like, oh, thank you for watching. I'm like, I hated you. I didn't say that. I didn't mean that. I didn't say it because I didn't mean it. I was just like, whatever. I already knew this stuff. But at least I got to see like the smart guys who created or worked for Facebook and Twitter and Instagram and all these people. And they're like, oh, well, yeah, it's good. We're trying to make it good for the good. And I'm like, okay, that's fine. But, yeah, and then it's like, oh, it's evil now. It's like, yeah, of course it is, because that's the money. People want to make money, and that's what happens. Capitalism. Convincing PlayStation 5 price leak and latest IGN poll all but confirmed victory for Sony and the PS5 in the first battle. Oh my God. Wow. Really? How is that? Right, so like we said, $3.99 and $4.99, but that's not a win, because that's a lose for Sony, because they're gonna eat a whole bunch of they're eating like $3.99, right, for digital. So let's imagine it's closer that $4.50 wait. I mean, it costs more than $3.99 for the digital version. Even if the $4.50 price was for the regular with the disc drive, or the disc drive, 20. Let's give it $20, right? So that's $4.70. I'm sorry. That's $4.30 plus shipping, handling, cut for the stores, cut for the sellers. So let's round it up to $4.50. Right? For the digital. So they're losing, let's say, at least $50 a console on the digital. And on the whatchamacallit, it's gotta be more. It's gotta be more, because if they were willing to do $4.99 and $5.99, then it's got to be over $500 for them for the regular PS5, and they just wanted to make as much as, I don't know, man. I don't know. Navi, AMD Big Navi hit spitting distance of GeForce RTX 3080 performance. I'm interested in the Big Navi stuff, because I'm looking to build a new computer that's gonna do the Ryzen 5 3600, but they're like, yeah, the Ryzen 4000 chips are coming out soon, which would be 5000, I believe they're gonna push them to. So I'm like, shoot, I gotta wait again. I gotta wait for the new chips to drop to see what if the Ryzen 5 is gonna be, I might upgrade. Never know. La 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 la. Excuse me. Now is the worst time to buy a new Xbox. No kidding. Duh. Crysis remastered with the fake ray tracing. Yeah, that's about it. That's about it. When is Wonder Woman supposed to come out? They don't ever. I don't know, man. It's weird. It's like all these movies coming out. Like I really want to see Tenet, but I ain't going to the movie theater, so I gotta wait for it to come out on Blu-ray, 4K Blu-ray, and I'm going to buy that. And I'm going to plop it in my Xbox and watch that joint on my 65-inch TV and be like, yeah, boy. That's what I'm going to do. So, Christopher Nolan needs to stop playing and release that on Blu-ray. If you want to make that money, I don't care about your stuck-up-ness about, I need to be seen in the theater. I need my movies to be seen in the theater for them to have the proper effect of emotion and depth of the environment, and the visual effects will have the proper just release a damn disc. Just release a damn on Amazon or Best Buy, whatever. I'ma buy it. I want to give you money, Christopher Nolan or whoever's releasing. I don't know the company. I want to give you money. Why don't you let me give you money? That's what a lot of Sony fanboys were like. I want to give you money, Sony. I don't care how much it is. I think it's worth $6.99. You know what? Sony thinks it's worth $6.99 too. They would if they had to name your price on the PlayStation 5, dude, and they'd be like, minimum $5.99. That thing would be selling out all over the place. Ooh, college student builds functional Batmobile from The Dark Knight. How did that? Jesus, $23,000. That's not bad. I wonder what. Well, whatever. It doesn't matter. Let's say. I wonder what the thing is in there. The Avengers game. I have zero interest in the Avengers game. Now, what I would like to see, though, with all this, was it Kamala Khan is the character? With all this kind of, because she's a newer character. So, but everybody's saying, oh, that's the best part of the game is the story with her, and she's a cool character. I'm like, okay, that's cool. How about you give her a movie, though? You know, that would be dope. Kamala Khan, stretchy, and they can use what is it? Well, she's Indian, right? I believe. Well, Khan. Actually, I don't know what ethnicity. I think she is supposed to be Indian. But they can use what's homegirl's name from Aladdin? Who was Jasmine? What's her name? She was in Charlie's Angel too, but I didn't see that. I just saw Aladdin because Will Smith never had a friend like me. Yeah, that was a bad movie. But it was bad, but it was still all right. Look at Forza, it's so beautiful. Yo, get out of the Phil. I don't want to see your face. I want to see beautiful, shiny cars. All right, move. Thank you. Jeez, why the Phil always gotta be up in? Look at my Xbox is so good. I know you like it. Why does Phil Spencer sound like a high-pitched Godfather? I don't know. He just does. Because the Xbox is so good. I don't understand. But I'm giving you an opportunity that you can't refuse. Wait, that's not what he says. I'm giving you a deal you can't refuse. Game Pass. But I'm looking at this, right? You look at this. You see them reflections, though. You see how they bend and distort to the geometry. And then you look at Sony's. It's not the same. It's not the same. They got that low budget, no frills. They got them no frills ray tracing reflections on the PlayStation 5. Meanwhile, Xbox Series X is like, woo, look at them pretty reflections. Naomi Scott. Who knows got? I don't know. I was thinking of I don't know. My brain stopped working. Dude, okay. Everwild. I saw the first of all, the music in this is freaking awesome. Okay, this doesn't sound like that because I'm horrible, but awesome. I'm like, yo, I'm down. Just for the music, I'm down. And I'm looking at it. I'm looking at the art style. I'm like, yo, this is tight, son. You know, people aren't talking about Everwild. They're just like, whatever. And also, if you notice, probably didn't, but there are 3 females and 1 male, right? So, female power, woman power. How do you X power? And so they had a dev, basically a dev, it's not a dev diary, but it was the developer and the lady that comes on after this. I guess she's the producer. And they were kind of just talking about the thought process and how they put this trailer together. I think they're called Guardians, I believe. I'm not too sure. But those 4 characters and how they are kind of tied to the nature and the animals and stuff. And I was like, oh, okay. So how do you play this game? So in my mind, I'm like, wait, so you're supposed to just bring an injured, bloom deer? I think they call them bloom deers or something. That one. Supposed to bring them to the animal spirits to heal them at the altar and do the super ninja incense twirly things. I don't know. So you have the elder, that was her, the old lady, and then you have the black dude, he's the brother with the dreads or braids or whatever. Then you have the lady with the curly dreads, and then you have the lady with the white hair, the young lady with the white hair. So 3 ladies, 1 dude. Hey, you cannot optimize for Series X. It didn't even say Xbox One on there, so it's like, all right, I'm cool with that. I'm gonna have the Series S. Oh yeah, she was there. I'm at the Series S, and I can still play that. I can still play it, and that's the cool thing about it. Games that are optimized for Series X can also work on the Series S without compromise. So if it's only next gen, the Series S will still be able to handle it for $300. Son, it's so good. But anyway, it's like I gotta watch this again because I forget that Everwild is on the top of my oh yeah, that's a game I want to play. Even more so than Fable. Even though Fable's dope, right? I'm like, but Fable, I hope they do a real good job of making Fable better than it was, because Fable was cool, Fable was cute, but you can't do a Crackdown 3 on Fable. You know what I mean? You can't do that. You got to make Fable so much better. And I have confidence in Playground Games because Forza Horizon is the best racing game in years. And from game to game, they have improved in such a way that I'm like, yep, if you're gonna give a studio a game to make, I'll be like, yeah, they're the best. Give it to them. La 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 la. La, la, la. That's it. I ain't got no more. 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 Mary J. Blige rumor about Rihanna's Umbrella song. Wait, what happened to Umbrella? Was that supposed to be her song or something? Who cares? Yeah, I got nothing else. United States, whatever. John David Washington said he had to do chores while living at home again with dad Denzel mid-pandemic. Oh well, must be bad to be Denzel Washington's son. He looks just like him too when he shaved his beard and stuff. It doesn't look exactly like him, but he sounds just like him. He sounds just like his pops. Sounds just like Denzel. I want to see Tenet, dang it. Man, I think I'm gonna play some more Blap Blope. What is it called? Oh, I can't even turn my Xbox on. I don't have a controller in here. Play some more Grounded tonight. Probably, maybe. I played some last night, and I was like, I just have to kill that spider, man. That spider's hard. Not Spider-Man, but that Spider-Man. I played, tell me why, I only played the first episode. I didn't even get to the end of it. I was just like, I don't want to play no more. I stopped playing. What is this? Oh, it's freaking Ori. Xbox Series X SSD natively reduces load times by 77%. Okay. Numbers. Ay. And so, I mean, if you think about how Sony has approached this whole run up to the generation, what they have said, and mainly they've been focusing on SSD speeds and stuff because that's the only thing they can say. Of course, the proof will be in the performance, not so much the what they say, but that's the only thing they can say because numbers wise, on paper, that's the one thing they have over the X. But everything else is on Xbox's side, including price, including value, including the Game Pass, which is once again price. It's just not. I don't know, man. And we just saw that article that said just the Sony already won or blah blah blah. I'm like, huh? How? Sony's in trouble when Opti, of all people, was like, yo, I gotta get that. Well, he didn't say I gotta get it, but he was like, yo, that's insane. The $299 for next gen console is insane. It's the same price as a Switch. Excuse me, same price as a Switch. And I'm looking at him like, Switch or Xbox Series X? Yeah. Come on, son. It's a no-brainer. You know what I was thinking about? I was thinking about Ben Hecht. I was like, I bet you Ben Hecht can make that into a portable. You slap a battery and a screen on that with a controller. I think he can. I mean, it'll be big. It'll be a big boy. But you could do that. Like, if it's this big, yeah, that's a big control. Man, that's big. I think he could do it. I have faith in Ben Hecht. I think I want to message Ben Hecht. And I'm like, yo, Ben, you got to do a portable Series X because ain't got no disk drive, ain't got to worry about physical media. You know what I mean? All you got to worry about is power, which is, I don't know how many watts it takes, but whatever. All you got to worry about is power and controls and screen, of course. But come on, son. I'm thinking about it. I'm like, wait, how can I do? It's really just about the power, right? Because you could build a little briefcase thing and slap that in there with a screen on it and have a controller in there and be good to go. More paywall content. What, on Game Pass? Or on oh, you're talking about what was playing on the screen? Ooh, Grounded. That's my favorite game in the world. Kinda sorry. It's a good game. Grounded's pretty good. And the thing is about Grounded, how I'm playing it, that's the orb spider. That's the punk spider. Show the wolf spider. Show that one. Cause the wolf spider be oh, they got the good things on there too. Oh, that was the bush there's a lab in the bushes. That's where that one was. That's a stink bug. They're easy. They're not easy, but they're not hard either. That's a bombardier. That's a orb. That's a orb. They didn't show any wolves. Huh. That's weird. That's the first ladybug. I killed those already. I gotta kill some soldier ants. I found that. That's another orb spider. Ants. They have worker ants that are actually not aggressive. They won't attack you. They're just like, oh, what's going on, bro? That's a good game, man. If you have Game Pass, definitely play Grounded. It's very good. Bond says more paywall in general. I started to play Age of Empires for PC. Told my once I go down this rabbit hole of a game, she may not see me for a very long time. Tell your girlfriend once. Yeah, that's what's happening with me in Grounded. And Grounded, like when you look at it, how they show it, it's like, oh, it looks like a kind of a dumb kiddie game, but it's really is the world is so it's very interesting, and also the fact that it's not even, I would say 50% of the map isn't even kind of done yet. It's just like the middle section is done. They haven't done like around the shed, the barbecue picnic table. There's like 4 different labs that aren't even, they're locked. I've visited them all. There's one in where all the fumes are from the pesticide. There's one there. There's one in the bushes. There's one next to that in the bushes. And there's another one somewhere else I can't remember. But there's at least 3 other labs. Oh no, there's 2 in the bushes. My bad. So I'm like, yo, let's come on, man, hurry up, give me some more. Give me some more. I'm ready. I'm ready. I was gonna play what was it? Wasteland 3. I was downloading it last night, so it should be done now. But I think I'm gonna try that. I never played the old versions of Wasteland 2 or anything. So Wasteland 3, I'm like, this will be my first time, and it's the precursor to the Fallout stuff, but isometric. So I think I want to play that, see what's up with that, just to try it out. I mean, it's on Game Pass. Why not give it a try? And that's like the key, kind of one of the key notions, or I don't know what the word is. I mean, I know what the word is. It's just my brain won't connect it. But one of those strategy, whatever, is for people to sign up for Game Pass and just try it. Why not? You have it, just try it. And that's what I've been doing. I've been playing games that I wouldn't even think about, because I'm like, I'm not buying that. And remember when Xbox 360, every game had a demo? I was playing all the demos. Game Pass is like that, except you pay $15 a month or whatever, and you just play the whole game instead of a demo. You play the whole game, and I'm like, yeah, okay, it's worth it. It's just so much. It's like if I play one night every week for a month. Let's say there's 4 weekends in a month, right? And I play every Saturday night or whatever, and I play a couple of hours of a game or a different game. It makes it kind of pays for itself just for that, because if I had to buy a game to try it out, then unless there was a demo, but if I had to buy a game to try it out or whatever, that's 4 games that I had to buy a month. Depending on the price, it's gonna be more than $60. At least one of them would be a regular price game. So it's a no-brainer, and everybody realizes it. And Microsoft is making the deal even better with this whole all access. And so I'm like, the only way Sony can compete is if they exactly copy what Microsoft is doing. If Sony copies exactly what they're doing, which they won't, if they do, then they could maybe compete. But they will not put their first party games day one on PS Now. They'll never do it, because they too hardy-tardy. They're like, our games are worth too much. We believe our games are worth more than that, so we're not gonna all right. See how many people sign up for your whack ass service. You gotta give people reasons to be on the PlayStation, man. The only thing they got now is exclusives. But if they did that, if they did day one on their exclusives, man, they would be in a better position. But they don't want to do it. Bond says the yearly cost is about $65. So Sony is the issue. Sony or the game devs? No, Sony said that they will. They said that. I'm just paraphrasing, but they said that they hold more value in their first party lineup than to just put it on a service like that day one. Basically, I'm paraphrasing, but that's what Jim Ryan said. I believe it was Jim Ryan that said that. And I was like, oh, well, all right then. I guess I won't be playing those on the PlayStation. You might as well just wait for the PC version, because it'll inevitably be better. Because you can get yourself a 3070 and destroy the PlayStation 5. I mean, you could get yourself an Xbox Series 1 and destroy the PlayStation 5. Let's be real. PlayStation 5 is like, huh? It's like, I mean, PlayStation 5 is like the PlayStation 4 Pro Part 2. It's I feel I was going to say I feel I feel bad for PlayStation fans because they realize that the PlayStation 5 isn't what it should be. It's not as powerful as it should be. And the fact that the PlayStation 4 was the narrative when they went into that generation was most powerful and cheapest, right? And now going into this generation is exclusives. We got exclusives. That's it. So it's like, okay, that's all right. But if I want to play Call of Duty with the highest frame rates, where do I go? Not the PlayStation 5. Or maybe they push the highest frame rates, but then the resolution has to suffer. So they're in a bad situation where they don't have the hardware to brag about. They don't have the services to brag about. They're literally using their competition services to even stay up. And their attitude toward games as a service, not so much, but their services, their video game service, their services offerings for their customers is like meh. It's like they don't even have any. I was gonna say they don't even have anything comparable to Game Pass, but they do. They came out with it before Game Pass, and they couldn't get it right. And I'm not saying they can't turn it around, but what I'm saying is the fact that they will not put their first-party games day and date. That's the one thing that is holding them back. And that's it. That's the thing. That's the thing that makes Game Pass such an alluring proposition. It's like, oh, I don't have to buy a game, but if I want to get a special edition, and that's what they're for, really. Special editions are for collectors. So it's like, oh, like Cyberpunk. I said this before. I'm getting Cyberpunk physical because I know they put a whole bunch of stuff in the box. They're gonna put a map, probably a cybernetic leg or eyeball or some ears or something in there. I don't know what they're gonna, but I'm gonna get it and I'm gonna be like, yup, and I'm gonna throw that disc into my Xbox Series, Xbox One X, and it's gonna live in there until I get a Series X, excuse me. And then I'll take it out of the Xbox One X and put it into the Series X and play it there. That's what it'll be. And that's it, I mean, I'm tempted. Like, if I were to know ahead of time, like, what's actually in the box, and if it was like stuff like, I don't really care, then I would get the digital version of Cyberpunk. Because honestly, I've transitioned to not really caring about physical copies anymore. That's an old school nostalgia type of thing that I don't think it holds as much weight because we're talking about discs. We're not talking about cartridges, which is a circuit board with plastic and screws, and you go plonk, and it's a freaking thing you could throw at your brother's head, and you're like, bing, like, mama, give me that. You can't do that with a disc. You go fling, and then it goes boom, and it hits the wall, and it cracks. And you're like, dang, I broke the game, and it didn't even hit him in the head. Bond says, how much dollars is Sony willing to bleed on that position? I don't know, man. I mean, they changed their position on PC games. And people got mad. Their fans got mad. Like, oh man, you're gonna put stuff on. It's not exclusive anymore because it's going on PC. I'm like, whatever, man. They try to make money, and that's the bottom. That's the thing. When it comes to the bottom line, if it's like, oh, is it gonna make them more money? Yes, it would make them more money. Not in sales of games, but in sales of subs. They get more subscriptions, which is a recurring price every month versus one game once, and that's it. And DLC if you wanna. But the DLC on Game Pass is not free. You gotta buy DLC, but it's a discount. So it's more of an incentive to get Game Pass and to get DLC, to buy DLC, because it's cheaper than having it regular. So in the long run, it would be better for them to do it just like Game Pass. But they're not looking at that. They're still stuck into the mindset of, oh, we're going to make this console, we're going to sell these consoles in order to sell games. And that's fine if you can sell your console at cost or at a profit, but they're selling it. They're gonna sell it at a loss, like the PlayStation 3. Remember that they were selling that thing. It cost them like $800 and something to make. I'm like, yo, they were losing hundreds of dollars per unit on PlayStation 3s, and I'm like, I'm pretty sure they don't want to do that again. You know what I mean? And with the PlayStation 4, they didn't really. It started a little bit, but not. It was soon they were in the black. You remember 2014? They're like, yep, PlayStation 5's in the black now, blah, 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 from the video. You're not going to hear that story on the PlayStation 5. Not anytime soon. Nope. Unless they do a revision with the PlayStation 5 Slim, which I don't know. How are you going to make a PlayStation 5 Slim? Explain that to me. I mean, anything would be smaller than what they're putting out because the thing is huge. But I'm trying to think. I'm like, how, with the way that they made this system and they're overclocking it, that's why it's so hot and it's so huge. How are they going to be able to make a Slim? So my thing is, what is going to happen is there's going to be a PlayStation 5 Pro, right? And a PlayStation 5 Pro is going to have full RDNA 2. It's going to be closest to the Xbox Series X. Maybe they'll go a little bit further, but it'll be that. As far as price goes, I don't know if they can do what they did with the PlayStation 4 Pro, meaning keep it at the same entry-level price with those improvements. I don't know if they can do that because they'll be losing money again. Depending if it comes out 2 years from now, maybe not, and maybe they won't overclock it, so it'll be cooler. But see, I don't know if they can do that. I don't know if they can. And by then, RDNA 3 might be coming out, right? So will it be an RDNA 3 box? So maybe it'll actually be more of a PlayStation 6 instead of a PlayStation 5 Pro? But are they going to call it PlayStation 5 Pro but have it RDNA 6? You know what I mean? Ooh, Bonds. What is this? What is this, Bonds? What are you giving me? TV, video, smartphone, internet, game, and network services. I'll put that there. Boop. Yay! Why don't they have the new, okay, I have a question. Why don't they have, let me put this over here. You go there and you go there. Why don't they have the PlayStation 5 here? That's my question. Bonds. Why don't they have the Spider-Man? That's a shame. I mean, they don't even own Spider-Man. That's why they had to put that Marvel's thing there. They don't even own Spider-Man. Wait, that's Sony Pictures. That's not even... Okay, hold on. Go here. They still don't have a PlayStation 5. Okay. Sony and I reveal stunning design for PlayStation 5. This is the last press release they put out in June 12th. Come on, son. This could be why Sony is willing to stay the course. Wait, what was it? I missed it. Hold on, I get it back. What is it? Go back. Our business. What part of it? What did I miss? Business? Here's business. Our business. Why? Because of all of the different things? Or is there more over here? No. Games and network services, personal products. Well, I know they have insurance companies and stuff, so I think they make some money on that stuff. Is it new businesses? Let's see. They're making a car. You saw that, right? They're making an electric car. I'm like, all the other products they own and have. I don't think so. You know what it is? The thing about how Sony, because the PlayStation, the games and services business is making them the most money, right? So I agree. I guess I would agree with you as far as that is tried and true, but they don't. They it's almost like they're blind to what's going on in the world. Millions of people have lost their jobs. So guess what? Millions of people won't be buying a PlayStation 5 with the disk drive this holiday. They're not gonna do that. They would be more inclined to buy a $299 X. If they're gonna buy something, they say I gotta get a next gen video game system, and I'm broke because I lost my job because of pandemics and stuff. What do you think they're gonna buy? Especially if Xbox is offering a payment plan for $25 a month. Come on, it's a no-brainer. I'm like, yo, I will be able to afford an Xbox Series X. I have enough money right now in my little video game account to get an S, right? Because I've been buying little things in here and there. By November 10th, I'll have enough money. I'll make sure that. So that's not an issue. I'll probably still wait anyway. But with that $35 a month, even without having the actual cash to buy the whole big system at launch, I can still get one and still come out ahead. And Sony is like, they're not thinking about, like I said, the environment, the economical environment of a lot of families, not most, but a lot of families. It's like they're not even paying attention. I don't know what the history of Sony. It's funny, like they had I think radio was the first thing they ever made. I believe radio was the first thing they ever made. Oh, look at those old things. Semiconductor. Robots are dumb. Others. All right, so let's go to, I think, radio. I believe the radio. I was reading about this a while ago where it said Japan's first radio, transistor radio, TR-55, employed 5 transistors developed in-house. TR-55 became the forerunner for later portable radios. This is cool for history. I definitely like that, like for the kind of like how it looks, like the model of it. No, it's not clickable. I had a, where is it? Oh, they don't even have it here. That sucks. Where's the personal audio? Where's the tape players though? Is that this home audio? Radio time projector, video recorder. Oh, personal audio. So I had a Discman, but before I had the Discman, I had the I'll show you. They have to have it here. They don't have it here. They have to have it. They don't have it here. What the hell's going on? What? Okay, I had the yellow Walkman. So it wasn't the blue one. Where is it? Okay, I'm losing my brain right now. Rechargeable bat. No. That was before. No. What is that? In ear. No. Okay, that. There. Okay, that's the Walkman. I had the yellow sport. I think it was called the Sportsman, where it's like water resistant. I wouldn't say it was waterproof. It was water resistant. It had a little kind of rubber seal thing around it. Yeah, they don't have it here, but that's the one I had. I have a black Walkman it's on one of these things, but the rubber band is broken on it, so the spools don't turn. So I have to actually open it up and fix it. But that's a pretty cool thing. I think I want to just transfer. I have some old audio tapes I want to put down on digital. Thank you. Oh, I'm not even showing you what the thing I'm looking at. My bad. Then there are the patents and royalties they own. Yeah, I mean, Microsoft owns a bunch of patents too, so yeah. But if the video game sector is making them the most money, then why wouldn't they try to optimize that profitability in that sector instead of trying to keep this archaic way of thinking about the business? And the fact that they're going to be losing money on each system is even worse, because it's like a different it's okay. They're losing money on each console, so their business model is messed up, because the motivation of them pushing next gen is to sell more consoles, but the more consoles they sell, the more money they lose. And then you put that and compile that with, their PS Now offering isn't as good as Game Pass. Game Pass is way better, and different levels of way better, different anyway, it's no competition. And they already lost that battle. As far as optics are concerned, they already lost it. I love these type of like reel to reel stuff. Dope. That's a cool little TV. I mean, they used to make really good hardware. I mean, they still do, I would say, but the fact that Microsoft has crept up and started making better hardware is whoops. You know what I mean? Containing pictures and all right. So where's my? I don't even know which one it is. I don't know which one it is. I could just Google it. How about I do that? So I think it was a Sportsman. Sony. Oops. Sony Sportsman tape player. I can't spell. There it is, right here. Boom. That's the one I had. That's the one I had. No, I don't want to go to Mercury. Stop it. I need the images. Yep, right there. Boom. Wait, which is the one I had? I didn't have the blue. I think I had this black. Yeah, I had the black one, I believe. Yep, it was that one. That's the one I had. Walkman Sports. Wait, was it this one? I don't remember. I know it was yellow. Yeah, it's one of those. Can't remember which one. I think it was this one. Anyway. Anyway, I'm done. Got nothing else to say, but exciting times. The exciting times coming soon. Excuse me. Soon. And we'll see what happens Wednesday. We'll see what Sony's got to say. Best case scenario, $399, $499. Anything higher, PlayStation done. I mean, PlayStation is done already as far as the price war. They lost the price war. They lost the power war. So all they got is exclusives. So they need to. It puts the pressure on them even more to make quality exclusives. They can't come and push off a little bit of Last of Us 2, even though it was a pretty good game, but there was problems. You know what I mean? They can't come with Days Gone. They can't. No, they got to come with the fire. You know what I'm saying? Nothing less than Ghost of Tsushima. Nothing less than Uncharted 4 or whatever. No, nothing less than God of War. You know? So that's on them. They're in a sticky situation. If the roles were reversed and Sony was doing everything that Microsoft was doing right now, it'd be no contest. They'd be like, Xbox done again. No, they can't even compete. They ain't even start yet. Can't even compete. But now the narrative is different. Now the narrative is, oh, but Sony's still good or whatever. Sony blah blah blah, right? So that tells you right there that Sony's in trouble, as opposed to last gen or this gen, beginning of this gen. And it also tells you, oh, this is gonna be a different battle this time. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna be like, oh, you know what I'm saying? It's gonna be interesting. And then the most interesting part will be when these games start coming out. When I say these games, I mean God of War 2. I mean Horizon Zero, Horizon Second Dawn, Horizon First Dawn, Horizon Forbidden West. You know what I'm saying? All these games that they're like, oh, look at all these exclusives we got. They ain't coming out tomorrow. They ain't coming out in November. Nope. They're coming out in 2 to 3 years. The soonest 2 to 3 years. You know, same with on the Xbox side. I'm waiting for the Initiative game. That's supposed to be quadruple A. I hope that's the best game ever created, but we'll see. But anyway, that's it. I'm done. I'm tired, and I'm gonna go inside and play some stuff. Maybe. What song is that? This is the bye-bye music. Nope. Alright, we'll play that. Crashers! Alright, guys. I appreciate you guys hanging out, Bonds. Have a good one. You and your lady. Abdi, I appreciate you popping in. Talking the talk. Kaijudo, as always. Everybody on Facebook. I appreciate the loves. Everybody in all games. I appreciate it. Alt, Arioka. Binary Bird, DC Nate, Doomplay, Havoc 978, Hey Jude, Nux Sonic, Rican Elite, Shadow Next Gen, Tiger Claw, Warham, Watch Dragon, and Zaza Zappy. Appreciate you guys hanging out. I'll see you guys next time. Toot the wait.